Hey guys, this is Andrew with rockclass101.com, and in this week's ukulele lesson, Matt's going to be teaching you an original tune that he wrote, which is called Drifting. Now this is one of the songs that's featured on his new EP, which is called the Baritone EP. So if you want to check out the entire EP, all the songs featured on it, I'll go ahead and link that in the description box below. But let's talk about this lesson because we're doing something different. We're actually going to feature two versions of this tune. The one that you just watched is the version that is featured on the EP. But the one that he's going to teach you is a little bit easier, a little bit simplified, and we're going to watch that performance immediately after my intro. So we're going to have two versions of the tablature. We're going to have one that is a note-for-note transcription of what he played in the EP version, and then we'll have a note-for-note transcription of what he played for the easier version, which we're about to watch. Now, with that in mind, let's talk about this video lesson, because in this video lesson, he's going to be teaching you how to play the easier one in its entirety. But if you want to get the tabs for both versions, you can do so by clicking this link or going to the site rockclass101.com, doing a search for drifting. Now also on that page will be the really cool interactive on-screen tab viewer, which will be available for both versions. Now this is a great feature where you can hit play, you can watch the tab scroll across in real time, you can highlight bars to loop sections, slow it down to any speed you wish. Just a great asset in learning this song that much easier. So without further ado, let's go ahead and watch the easier version of Drifting, and don't forget to grab the Baritone Ukulele so you can jump into the lesson with Matt.
Hello! In today's video, we're going to learn a solo baritone ukulele arrangement of a song I wrote called Drifting. This is a really fun kind of ambient piece that makes use of the open first and second strings while the melody takes place on the third and fourth. It's a lot of fun to play, and it's going to sound and look something like this, diving right in. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first bar to play. We're going to play this E sus4 / F sharp chord. The name's not important. All that we're going to do is take our middle finger, place it here on the 4th fret of the 4th string, and our index finger here on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. This is a huge stretch if you haven't done it before. If you can't do this, it's okay to use the ring, but the goal is to build up the flexibility for these two fingers to be used. And you'll see why in a moment, but all that we're going to do here is use 3 finger picking, which means our thumb is going to be responsible for the 4th and the 3rd strings, and our index finger here on the 2nd string, middle finger here on the 1st string. And we're going to do this little picking pattern that's going to go 4th string, 3rd string, 2nd string, 4th string, 1st string, 4th string, 2nd string, 4th string. So this pattern is going to be used a lot during this piece, and it sounds and looks something like this when you play it in time. 2 and 3 and 4 and. Going into the second measure now, we're going to continue holding the same shape, and we're going to do the exact same pattern we just played, only we're not going to play the 4th string at the very end. It just plays that 2nd string and holds it for a full beat. And so that's going to be 4th string, 3rd string, 2nd string, 4th string, 1st string, 4th string, 2nd string, and hold it. In time, measure 2 will sound something like this. 2 and 3 and 4 and. As we go on to the third measure, we're finally going to switch the chords a little bit. And this is why this stretch is important. So we're going to take this middle finger, we're going to slide it up 2 frets to the 6th fret of that 4th string. Then we're going to take our ring finger and add it on the 6th fret of the 3rd string. This builds an E6 / G sharp, really pretty chord. And we're going to do the exact same finger picking pattern we did on measure 1. What that's going to be is 4th string, 3rd string, 2nd string, 4th string, 1st string, 4th string, 2nd string, 4th string. And as you're playing this, it's really important to let these notes ring out. You notice when I play it and as I play the notes, I make sure that my fingers don't touch the strings so that they can keep vibrating the whole time. Really important for this tune as you're working on it. But the third measure in time sounds something like this. 2 and 3 and 4 and. Going into the fourth measure, it's exactly the same chord and the same picking pattern as the second measure, which means it's the same thing, only I pluck the 2nd string at the very end. I just leave it ringing open for the full beat. And that's going to look something like this. 4th string, 3rd string, 2nd string, 4th string, 1st string, 4th string, 2nd string. And in time sounds like this. 2 and 3 and 4 and. And so that you can hear it, here's all 4 of these measures together, which really gives you a good idea of how this song starts to sound. 2 and 3 and 4 and. As we go on to the next set of 4 measures, we're going to see that we go on to measures 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good news, these 4 measures are exactly the same as what we just played on measures 1 through 4. The exact same 4, 2, 0, 0, with that picking pattern going to the 6, 6, 0, 0, exactly the same. So in time, measures 5 through 8 should sound something like this. 2 and 3 and 4 and. Pretty neat, right? quick note, if you're getting a lot of squeaks on your string, make sure that your hands aren't too dry. You'll notice that the drier it is, the more squeaky it is. So a little trick is if your palms ever get sweaty, just kind of touch your fingertips on your palm, and that can help actually make the squeak go away. If you're playing in a really dry environment, you're kind of screwed over. It's just going to squeak, and that's okay. It's just part of playing. But from here, we go on to measures 9 through 12, and we're going to switch chords right here. So we were at this 6, 6, 0, 0, right? This middle finger is going to slide up again now to the 7th fret of the 4th string. We're going to add the index finger here to the 6th fret of the 3rd string. And so you see the hands a little more straight up and down with this one. I'm going to do the same picking pattern I've been doing. That's going to be the 4th string, 3rd string, 2nd string, 4th string, 1st string, 4th string, 2nd string, 4th string. In time, sounds something like this. 2 and 3 and 4 and... Going into the 10th measure, we do the same exact thing, only we're going to end on the 2nd string for that full beat, just like we've done a couple other times in this tune. So that's going to be 4th string, 3rd string, 2nd string, 4th string, 1st string, 4th string, 2nd string. And in time, it sounds something like this. 2 and 3 and 4 and... Going into the 11th measure, we do have a little bit more movement now. This is actually the first and only time is with this chord that we fret the 2nd string. And so what we need to play is 9, 8, 7, 0. So the ring finger's here on the 9th fret of the 4th string, middle finger here on the 8th fret of the 3rd string, and the index finger here on the 7th fret of the 2nd string. We're going to do the exact same picking pattern we've been doing at the beginning of each of these phrases, which is the 4th string, 3rd string, 2nd string, 4th string, 1st string, 4th string, 2nd string, 4th string. In time, that sounds something like this. 2 and 3 and 4 and... Before we end this melody A section by playing the 7 on the 2nd string and the 0 on the 1st string. And that's all we do for the measure 12. We leave that chord in play. We just pluck those 2 notes. In time, sounds something like this. 2 and 3 and 4 and... And so that you can hear it, here's measures 9, 10, 11, and 12 all together. It should sound something like this. 2 and 3 and 4 and... Now for melody A, we are going to repeat all 12 of these measures. So we're going to go back to the first measure and go all the way through twice. So that you can hear it, I'm going to play melody A all the way through with the repeat as well. And it should sound something like this in time. 2 and 3 and 4 and... Repeat. Now, again, I mentioned this earlier, but it's really important to make sure these notes ring out. And we do that by making sure we're really articulate with how we fret these notes so that we're allowing all the strings to always ring. And with your playing hand, make sure you don't prematurely touch the strings. If you do that, it's going to stunt all the notes and make it very staccato. We want it very legato, which means very smooth. So make sure those strings can really ring out. Now, as we go on to the melody B section, if you've heard this off my album, the Baritone EP, you'll notice that this is a strum part normally, but I adapted it for this lesson to be more fingerpicked. And I quite like it. It's something I want to explore more for the tune in general. But if you're comparing it to the album, you'll notice it's the same chords that we're playing here, just I strum it on the album versus fingerpicking here. To start though, we're going to play an E chord way up the fretboard. We're going to be at 14, 13, 0, 0. So we're going to take our middle finger, place it all the way up here at the 14th fret of the 4th string. Then our index finger is going to go all the way here to the 13th fret of the 3rd string. Really pretty E chord. Now the finger picking pattern does change a little bit here as we go through. It's not going to be the exact same pattern we were playing before. It's going to start with the 4th string, 3rd string, 2nd string, 4th string. So all this is the same so far, right? 1st string, but then here's the change. Then we're going to play the 2nd string, and then we're going to play the 4th string, and then the 2nd string again. So that's one more time through. 4th string, 3rd string, 2nd string, 4th string, 1st string, 2nd string, 4th string, 2nd string. And in time, it sounds something like this. 2 and 3 and 4 and. Going into the 14th measure, these two fingers are going to each slide down, the middle finger down 1 fret from 14 to 13, and the index 2 frets from fret 13 down to fret 11. So we have 13, 11, and 0. We're going to pluck the 4th string, and then the 3rd string, 2nd string, 4th string, 1st string, 2nd string, 4th string, 2nd string. So you notice it's the exact same pattern that we did on the 13th measure. No difference whatsoever, just the chord has changed. And so in time, that's going to sound like this. 2 and 3 and 4 and. Going into the 15th measure, these two fingers slide down 2 more frets each. So the middle finger is now at the 11th fret of the 4th string, and the index finger is now on the 9th fret of the 3rd string. We're going to do the exact same pattern. So that's going to be the 4th string, 3rd string, 2nd string, 4th string, 1st string, 2nd string, 4th string, 2nd string. And in time, that's going to be something like this. 2 and 3 and 4 and. And going into the 16th measure, we're going to leave our index finger here on the 3rd string where it's at. And we're just going to slide the middle finger down 1 so that we can get the 10th fret here on the 4th string. So we have 10, 9, 0, creating this really cool like C major 7 vibe. It's a very interesting chord that I like a lot for this. It creates some tension. And so we're going to play the same picking pattern now with this really tense chord, which is the 4th string, 3rd string, 2nd string, 4th string, 1st string, 2nd string, 4th string, 2nd string. And in time, that's going to sound something like this. 2 and 3 and 4 and. And so now, at this point, it actually repeats. This 4 measure bar is played twice through to comprise our melody B section. So that you can hear it, here's all of melody B, these 4 bars that we just learned. And I'm going to add the repeat in there as well so that you can hear it go all the way through. Should sound something like this. 2 and 3 and 4 and. And now at this point, we go on to measure 17 to play melody A again. And what's neat about this is if you've already worked this far through the tune, you know exactly what's coming. Because measures 17, 18, 19, and 20 are actually exactly the same as what we played on measures 5, 6, 7, and 8. They're the same measures. It's going to go back to that 4, 2, 0, 0 chord, 2 bars of that, followed by the 6, 6, 0, 0 chord with 2 bars of that. And that in time for these 4 bars is going to sound something like this. 2 and 3 and 4 and... As we go on to bars 21, 22, 23, and 24, those are exactly the same as measures 9, 10, 11, and 12. The same 7, 6, 0, 0 to the same 9, 8, 7, 0. It's exactly the same part, same picking, everything is identical because really this melody C is just a repeat of melody A. So measures 21 through the end should sound something like this in time. 2 and 3 and 4 and... And so that you can hear it, here's all of melody C, which again is just a melody A at the very end. The only difference between this and the first time of melody A is melody A has some repetition to start. Measures 1 through 4 and 5 through 8 are the same, but 5 through 8 into 9 through 12 is exactly the same as what we're playing here with 17 through 24. So it's the same 8-bar phrase. So again, just to reiterate that, measures 5 through 12 are exactly the same as this end part of measures 17 through 24. And when you play it all together, it sounds something like this. 2 and 3 and 4 and... And there you have it, bringing the camera back up. This is a really wonderful exercise in getting comfortable with movement on your 3rd and 4th strings. Normally I play high G ukulele and I like to do all my activity on the 1st and 2nd strings when I can. So when I was writing this piece of music, I really made a conscious effort to be very different with how I approach and think about music with this instrument because the baritone is such a different vibe. So this is a lot of fun to play. Again, work on the resonance, making sure those strings really ring out by making sure that you're letting those strings continue to vibrate. Don't touch them with either the fretting or the playing hand. As always, if you have any questions, leave them down below. I'll look forward to seeing you next time on the next lesson here on Rock Class 101. Thanks so much.
Alright guys, so this week's ukulele lesson was a lot of fun. This is a very ambient sounding piece and just a blast to play on the baritone. Now I did want to give you a friendly reminder that we do have tabs available for both versions. So we have the easier one, which is the one he just taught you, and we also have a note-for-note transcription of what he played on the EP. So if you want to grab those tabs, they'll be available at this link, or you can go to the site, rockclass101.com, do a search for drifting. And don't forget too, on the page is the really cool interactive on-screen tab viewer, so you can hit play, watch that tab scroll across in real time, highlight bars, loop sections, slow it down, all that fun jazz. And we will have that tab player available for both versions of the tune. So guys, again, I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll catch you in the next lesson. Take care.